Welcome to this month's edition to the Tanzu Community Edition monthly community meetings. Today's date is April 14th, 2022. If you are tuning in to this as a recording, we would love for you to come join us live. We have a couple of opportunities for you to come and join our community meetings. We have this one, which is our monthly one. We meet every second Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. in India Standard Time. We also meet weekly every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. And it's a great opportunity for you to come and just meet the team. You can meet other members of the community. If you have questions about how to use Tanzu Community Edition, you can ask those live and get live feedback and live help. Or you can just come and listen and whatever the team is working on, and you can provide feedback if you have that as well. If you aren't able to attend live and you still want to connect with us or anybody in the community, you can find us in the Kubernetes Slack workspace and the Tanzu Community Edition channel. You can find us on GitHub and GitHub discussions, as well as our issue list. And you can email us, and you can find us on Twitter at VMware TCE. If you do have something you wish to discuss with the team, and anybody that's on this call right now, if there's something that you want to bring up, please just add that to the discussion topic section of the agenda down below, and we will get to it as time allows towards the end of the meeting. Whenever you're interacting with us or any members of the community, we ask that you please read and abide by our code of conduct, which is linked here and goes directly into our repo where it lives. So please give that a read. If you are using Tanzu Community Edition, we would love to know more about how you are using it. And we would love for you to share that with us as well as other members of the community. So we've created this pinned issue and just asks you to provide a little bit more details about yourself, the company that you may be representing, and how you are using Tanzu Community Edition. There's also an option for you to add your logo in there so that we can get you added to the adopters file and showcase you to other members of the community about who all is using the Tanzu Community Edition. So we would love to know more. It helps us in development of the Tanzu Community Edition, and also helps others understand how others might be using it and help them use it in the same way. For all the attendees on this call today, please make sure you add your name and the company you're representing to the attendees list here. On to announcements. So we have a few things to announce in terms of content. For events and meetups, we will be at KubeCon, Cloud Native Con Europe, and some related events around that in Valencia. We have several talks from maintainers of Tanzu Community Edition, past and present. And so please take a look at these. Hopefully you'll be able to attend. I know there are some virtual options to attend as well if you aren't able to attend in person. But we would love for you to come join us and say hi. In addition to talks, we will have a booth presence at KubeCon. Stay tuned for more details on that. We're still ironing out what that looks like. And then we're also planning to do something a little bit more informal, thanks to actually Stephen Wong, who's on the call today, for the idea of hopefully we'll have a way for you to join us, like maybe for lunch, if you're attending KubeCon in person, and you'll be able to find us in the conference space and just come hang out, get to know us, and we'll get to know you. We hope that we get to meet other members of the community. We're really excited to be there. Next up, we have a webinar that's happening at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Hey, Nancy,
yes.
Can I interrupt you before you move
Sure
on?
thing.
So I was called out as a speaker, and I'm speaking, but the fact is, I think that most of my talks really aren't on Tanzu Community Edition. They're more generic Kubernetes, but I do know about it. So you're welcome to track me down there if you have questions. My area of authority is running TCE on top of VMware hypervisors. So I'm not really an expert on writing the internals of the code, but in terms of running it on vSphere, you have anything you want to talk about related to that, track me down at KubeCon, and that'd be fine. But I'm not sure that the talks I'm giving are really going to be focused on TCE. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for Stephen for saying that. The talks aren't necessarily about Tanzu Community Edition. There are a few, but there are some that are about other topics. So for myself, I'm talking about being community manager alongside Karen Chu of Microsoft. She's community manager for Helm, and I also manage the community for Carvel. So, but these are just talks that are by engineers and other related folks who work on TCE in some capacity giving talks. So if you wanted to come say hi to us, but the talks aren't necessarily all about Tanzu Community Edition. I've got a couple of raised hands. Priya?
Yep. So I just also wanted to highlight that KNativeCon, Naveed is also having, he's also presenting there. So he should also be there for KNativeCon. So I don't see it listed here, but I think we were supposed to put it, but it's missing. So Naveed is also going to be there. So I wanted to bring that up. And another thing is we do have something here happening as well. So that's specifically for TCE. So we have something called Kubernetes Community Days. So we have a workshop on TCE that's happening this weekend. So Karpaya and Aman are doing that workshop. So this is KCD Bangalore. So that's where we are. And so that's like an hour-and-a-half session where they would go over and give a few insights on TCE, then give a demo and then take questions. So we announced this workshop about a month or two in advance. So we do have registrations, people are coming in. So that's happening this weekend. So I just wanted to highlight that as well.
Awesome, thanks Priya. And if you could you add that to the agenda and maybe Slack me the link as well, and I'll try to make sure that we get some more promotion and amplification of that for both that and for the Knative talk. That'd be great.
Sure. Karpaya, can you add the KCD details? KNativeCon I'll add as well. Like I don't have the link handy, but I'll add it during the course of our day today.
Wonderful, thank you. And then David, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I put in a special shout out there for Rajas. He was previously working on TCE and release engineering there. And he also has a session at Cloud Native Rejects. So we didn't, I forgot I missed that in the meeting earlier today. So I wanted to just have a special call out for him and Neha. I think they're both presenting there. I think I got the information there correct with and everything linked in there. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure he gets the they both get the recognition, and yeah, look forward to seeing their talk for sure.
And I'll shout out that in spite of the name Rejects, in my opinion, that Rejects is a really good conference. So you do have to arrive early to go to it, but some of my favorite talks of all time have occurred at that Rejects conference. For whatever reason, they just seem to get good speakers.
Yep. We do have some more talks. They might not be directly related to TCE, but I'm aware of at least 4 or 5 other people who are traveling for rejects from here. So that's happening as well.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a great conference that goes in tandem with KubeCon, and it's kind of like the cool kids party, right? Like, oh, the rejects, but yeah, also really incredible talks. Anything else covering that section before we move on to the rest of the content? Oh, okay. So we have the webinar happening April 14th, 10 a.m., but that's Pacific time, which I believe translates to 9:30 p.m. India Standard Time, if I'm doing that right. don't quote me on that. Be sure to check that out. And if you're able to register for that. Blog posts, we posted something earlier this week by Stephen Palsty on comparing managed and unmanaged clusters on Tanzu Community Edition. And we have, this was just added. This is the workshop for KCD that was mentioned a moment ago. So that's coming up this weekend. And then for the O.12 release, we are planning for that to be released May 10th. So with that, we're moving on to status updates in regards to that release. Karupia, I'm gonna let you take it away, giving your updates.
Yeah, actually, I'll let Aman start off with the unmanaged cluster stuff. Yeah.
Okay, you want me to start with the demo?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so we're gonna go to the demo for unmanaged cluster E2E test.
Is Aman, and I am a MTS. Hey everyone, my name is Aman, and I am a MTS intern at VMware, and currently part of release engineering team. So in this demo, I am going to discuss the effort by release engineering team, that is E2E test for unmanaged cluster. So let's jump to the test. So if I talk about where is this test resides, so this resides under community edition, CLI, CMD, then plugin, unmanaged cluster, then test directory, and here it is E2E test. So if we explore how this test is testing the unmanaged cluster from end to end. So first it is installing TC from scratch by doing make release. Once the TC installed, then it is creating a unmanaged cluster. So after the creation of cluster, we are checking whether the cluster is healthy or not. So we are checking it in two ways. So first we are checking for the repositories that both are present. Once after that, we are checking for the ports, that whether ports are created or not. So once we created, check the unmanaged cluster, then we are deleting the cluster. So after deletion, we are cross-checking whether the cluster is deleted or not by using Tanzu useless command. So to trigger this test, we have to just run a make unmanaged cluster E2E test command, and we will trigger this test. So as it will take some time, so I have run this test in my self-hosted runner. So I'm just showing those logs there. So in this way, it is creating TC from scratch by doing make release. Once the TC installed, then it is creating a UC cluster. So once a cluster is created, then we are checking whether it is healthy or not by checking the repositories and the ports. Then we are deleting the cluster and checking whether it is deleted or not. So in this way, this test is checking my cluster from end to end. So yeah, this is all about end-to-end test for unmanaged cluster. So there is an issue created by release engineering team that we are planning to do some changes in diagnostic E2E test. So currently, this E2E test is running on a Minikube cluster. So we are planning to move it on a managed cluster. And second change, which we are thinking of, is that converting this test into a Go script, so that in future we can make this test a platform independent. That is, we can run this test on a Windows environment also. So yeah, this is one thought process from release engineering team. So there is an ask that if you can share your point of view or your thought process to or what things you want to add in this particular end-to-end test for a diagnostic plugin. So yeah, that will be very helpful for us to design this test. So thanks for watching this demo till now.
Okay. Any comments?
Why don't you tell everybody about you? I'm going to drop a little bit of your bio into.
They had some stuff to say. Okay, any questions or comments on that demo?
Yeah, no, pretty awesome. Actually, I hadn't even considered, yeah, it could be run on multiple platforms just the way it is. So yeah, like that, I think that would be very cool. And especially for you, Steve, because you seem to be very Windows focused. So yeah, that actually could be like a pretty good, pretty good like a end-to-end test and to actually like verify something on Windows for sure.
I think I'd just also like to call out that some of the packages, well, I'm sorry, at least with respect to packages, we do have a number of packages that have end-to-end tests currently written in Go. And that might be worthwhile checking out as well. I especially like the external DNS and Harbor packages, which I've kind of stolen that code to implement tests for Cert Manager and local path storage, and we'll be doing others in the future. So I think that's a good model going forward as well.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Aman. That was fantastic. Any other feedback? Okay. Karupia, did you want to do the next demo or did you want to? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll stop sharing.
yeah. So, it's a bit noisy here, but sorry about that. There's some construction work going on. Cool. Yeah, so yeah. So I want to talk about like how we have existing tests in like Bash as of now. So we are starting to convert existing tests like from Bash to Golang. So the new ones we are already writing in Golang, what Aman mentioned. So starting with like Azure Management and Workload Cluster, we are starting to write like from Bash, we're converting into Golang. It's still a work in progress. The code is here in a separate repo. We have to make it a bit more beautiful. It's a bit messy as of now. And then like raise a PR in like PC repo. And you can actually see the GitHub issues and the code, using comments and many ideas and notes. You can go check it out and, capturing ideas for like notes, improvements and all. So one of the asks from our side is like, please send in any feedback or like ideas, concerns or anything you have like around end-to-end test, like that would help us make it better. And yeah, we have actually had a lot of experience from like running Bash based end-to-end tests and also general learnings about cloud platforms and the end-to-end tests in general. So we have put it all together like in Golang end-to-end test code and like tried to bring the best of all the worlds, since we are still working on it. But yeah, and like including Windows support. So yeah, that's that. So the demo, once I will present. So one moment. So this video has like the full context on like, I think I'm just going to give a quick overview. So the logs of the test would look something like this. I could probably show it in my, let's say one sec. Yep, can you folks see my screen?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So the test run looks like this. So at the end, you will see Golang saying that the test passed. and the name of the test being this. So there's only one this test, and it ran for so much time. So the last thing that it does is like deleting the management cluster. So the logs are a bit verbose about for now. We are going to actually reduce it and have like summary logs apart from like verbose logs. But you can actually see that it starts off with so you run this go test and like so you run go test, and then the whole thing happens, and like it also accepts virtual machine image license terms, which is something that we wanted to do it automatically and we hadn't done it in bash. So now that does the whole thing, and you can also see it printing data about the management cluster, like the API server version and the pod names and all that, similar to the bash code, and the deletion of the workload cluster and everything. So it does it all in Golang, and all the things are like, for example, Azure SDK, everything is like library, except for Tanzu CLI, which we use as a CLI command and run it. And you can actually see it being run whenever we run it. So you can see it saying something like, so it says Tanzu cluster create this thing, right? So similar to this, you can see every command that's being run in case if it's a Tanzu command or something else. Yep. So I'll probably create a demo on like running it on Windows also, but that's the whole idea. And yeah, please do send in any feedbacks, and like you can also go check out the full video to see the whole thing. It's a bit of a long video, but it has like very minute details also.
Great. Thank you so much for doing that and showing us that. Does anybody have any?
I want to comment.
Yeah.
That is freaking amazing. Like we do bash scripting only because it's like quick and easy to like get to, our end goal, like fast. But like to have it in Go is like, oh, I mean, we've been trying to strive to go there, but it's amazing that, you can get, you're starting to go down that path. The other cool thing, an idea to throw out there, like you can even test the test framework by like creating like you right, yeah, I see you're shaking your head. So you can even like create a like basically a mock, right, like management clustering, and so you can test the test framework. And then I think this is amazing because like it's all in Go. And then the other thing is like, yeah, the Tanzu CLI, like, yeah, we should definitely execute it like you're saying, like you're already doing, like you said, like as if we're the end user. So dude, this is amazing. So this is awesome. I can't wait for this.
David, I love that you said we've been trying to go there.
Yeah, it's definitely been a goal. It's just time and resource, and this blows my mind. This is awesome.
Great. Any other comments, feedback, any questions? No. And it looked like that was all for the updates we had, and no discussion topics, and it looks like we are just about at time. Before we part ways, is there anything that folks want to bring up? No? Okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for the monthly edition of the Tanzu Community Edition community meeting. We hope you're able to join us live next time. If not, you know where to find us, and we look forward to meeting you. And please come find us. We're eager to help you learn more about the Tanzu Community Edition. And Matt, thank you and have a good day.
Thank you.